It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon Axamit.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Now today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. John Bartle, who is the Dean of UNO's College of Public Affairs and Community Service. So Dr. Bartle, today's question is there a clear-cut solution to the property tax standstill in Nebraska right now?
Thank you, Brandon, for that question. I'm happy to talk about the property tax. I think it's important to understand the current situation in Nebraska. The property tax is a local-only tax. The state does not use it. And second of all, it funds local government spending, cities, counties, school districts, and special districts like natural resource districts, community colleges. And in Nebraska, historically, we have highly valued local control. Most of the spending is more at the local level than at the state level, and state aid to local governments is low too. So that's the current situation. There are, broadly speaking, three solutions. One is to have the state assume more of the local functions. So the state, for example, could pick up the costs of health and human services that the counties do, corrections, or also roads the cities and counties do, the expenses for roads and streets. Another idea is they could pick up the expense of community colleges and shift that from the property tax to state. A second broad solution would be to increase state aid to local governments. And that aid, of course, could go to school districts. We already do that, of course, but we could do more. Could go to counties and cities for the functions I mentioned, like health and human services, or to community colleges. Both of these, of course, require more state revenue. So you'd have to use either the corporate income tax, the personal income tax, or the sales tax at the state level to increase those. Maybe some of the excise taxes might produce some revenue. A third broad option is to give more revenue authority, more tax authority to the local governments. And we already in Nebraska give cities, many cities have the authority for the sales tax, and they piggyback that on to the state sales tax. Another option that some states do is to have a local income tax. We've never done that in Nebraska, but that would be an option. We could also use excise taxes at the local level, such as gasoline tax, or user fees. So in a certain sense, there are a variety of solutions. We could reduce property taxes, but historically these solutions are not as appealing. So I think the main message is there's no free lunch here. You got to kind of pick your poison, which taxes you want to do, and where you're going to pay, how it's going to be paid for. So that's kind of the situation we're in, and those are some of the options. If you want more information, our School of Public Administration is spa.unomaha.edu. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bartle, for sharing your expertise on the topic. Well, for our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts. So if you have a question that you want answered, go to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the Access the Experts link. We'll be sure to answer those questions on our next edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website. Then join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. while we answer your questions.